Special night, an historic night at Parramatta City Raceway with the four Kinsers on deck in the JPS Racing team out of the United States, making their first appearance as a team tonight at Parramatta City Raceway, Australia's fastest sprint car circuit. On behalf of the co-promoters, Sid Hopping and Bert Wilder, welcome.
Evening race fans, my name's Stuart Telford. We've got some great racing for you tonight. As Al's told you, the Steve Kinser troops here with Carl, the head mechanic, the mentor of the group, has tuned these cars to perfection for you tonight. As I said, Steve will head up the team. There's Randy, Al,
Kelly's with us, and also the youngest member of the troop, young Mark, who's only 21 years of age.
the son of Carl, and they are hot. They've had a hot tour around America so far this year, and they're going to be here to race hard for us tonight. Hard and hot.
So sit back, but whatever you do, don't relax, because this is PCR, the action track. I'm Alan Edworthy. Good evening and welcome.
Once again, I'm Stuart Telford. This is Lance Wilson, and this is the PCR action track.
Young Mark Kinser in the number 3 car. Okay, Skipper gets the opportunity to do it all over again off pole position in the 24 car. Keep your eye on the black and gold American car of Mark Kinser. Right alongside is Johnny Walsh, young Australian charger, but locked in tight in the 75 car. 8 laps is the journey, and the green flag flies at PCR. Kev Worthington first to give notice of things to come, but as they race out of turn 2 already, stoppage midway between turns 1 and 2. Bob Blacklaw involved in the Central District Smash Repair 78 car. Let's look for a green this time around. Event number 1 on the card, brought to you by Valvoline, supporters of the action at PCR. Mark Kinser winds up on the outside, right on the cushion, as the green flag flies and a wall of sprint cars head up into turns 1 and 2. This time they dive out of turn 2 for the first occasion. Bob Hill in the 88 car, the early race leader, now being swamped by the middle markers. First to jump out in the 17 car was Trevor Shields. Gets it together good this time as they race off turn 4. Shields is the race leader. Bob Hill in second running. And Kev Worthington is third, back to Blacklaw and Mark Kinser. Racing off turn 4, Bob Hill out of shape, puts the car on the infield, but rejoins the circuit proper as Trevor Shields goes away. Under the Winfield scoreboard they run. Mark Kinser coming out of the pack to put the JPS 3 car up into second running. Bob Blacklaw now jumps out into third. Kev Worthington giving chase as they race on turn 4. 3 down, 5 remaining. And takes over the lead. Under the Winfield scoreboard they run down the back section. And the American, looking to put first blood on the board tonight, runs off turn 4. Trevor Shields back in second running. Blacklaw is third as the laps dwindle away. In the Goodyear car now takes over fourth running as Mark Kinser runs off turn 4 with about 1.5 left to travel. Makes a run down the back section. Arthur Cowan has the white flag at the ready as they move on to the main straightaway. Race leader Mark Kinser in the number 3 car takes the white flag with 7 completed and 1 remaining. Trevor Shields back in second placing. Bob Blacklaw, foot in the bucket, takes the 78 car across the wire in third with 1 to go. But there's Mark Kinser for the final run off turn 4. The twin black and white checkered flags going out to Mark Kinser, stopping the clocks at 2:22.72 for the 8-lap journey. Trevor Shields crosses the wire in second. Bob Blacklaw is third. Back then to Terry Bickham. Bob Hill crossing the wire, as does Kev Worthington, the final car to finish in the 49 car. First win tonight going to Mark Kinser, 21-year-old American in the JPS number 3 car. Put your hands together.
So plenty of places to go and have your hair cut with Stallion Stables. Okay, here we go, fans, for heat number 2. And on the inside, it's Barry Lewis and from car number 11 ahead of Peter Kraft. On the outside is car number 86. Bruce White in the 96 car, and Russ Balfe, who is running third, goes high on the track. That allows Bruce White to go through as Barry Lewis holds the race lead after one lap ahead of car number 86, Peter Kraft. Gary Rush, the former national champion, multinational champion of Australia, further back in the pack, car number 2, dicing it with Sid Moore, car number 95. Sid Moore's up front in the 95 car, Bobby Tunks there in 54 having some handling problems. They're the 3 cars you can watch in this race. As Barry Lewis in the ASAP Curious car with 5 laps to go leads Peter Kraft, Bruce White, Ross Balfe, Sid Moore, Gary Rush and Bobby Tunks. Down the back straight, Lewis, the race leader, doing it nicely. Out of turn number 4, a slow car could cause problems. Lewis goes to the inside and tucks it in tight into turn 1. Kraft follows. Here comes White. Moore's catching up. They've got past Ross Balfe. Rush looking through the inside now. Rush takes over. The number 11 car, Barry Lewis, doing a great job out front. Here comes Peter Kraft though at 86. Kraft switches to the inside, looks for the race lead. Lewis shuts the gate as they come out of turn 4, down the main straight. Bruce White catches up some ground. As they run out of laps now, down the back straight, it's Stu Lewis ahead of Kraft, White, Sid Moore, Gary Rush. White flag, 1 racing lap to go for Barry Lewis and number 11. Here comes Sid Moore, but he loses the chance of grabbing third. And out of turn 4 for the last time comes Barry Lewis. The ASAP Curious car picks up the win. Peter Kraft ahead of Bruce White for the minor placing. Sid Moore, Gary Rush, Ross Balfe, Bobby Tunks are the next ones to come across the finish line, but a wide win for car number 11, Barry Lewis. Let's have those hands warmed up for a fine drive for Barry Lewis, car number 11, the ASAP Curious car.
What a great drive from Barry Lewis. Flag to flag, as Stuart called it. Great action in Heat 2 of the sprint cars, and Barry Lewis stopping the clocks marginally faster than the previous time set by Mark Kinser. 2 minutes, 22.56. Again, Ken Fowler to lead away. We should have the show off the green this time around. 8 laps will be the journey as the green gets set to fly. Alec Grove starting from the rear. Out comes the green, 8 laps the journey as they race up into turn 1. The American already in the stride takes over second running, and as we speak goes to the lead in the USA number 2 car, Randy Kinser. Running deep in turns 3 and 4 onto the main straightaway. Stealing the march in the USA 2 car, going away but giving full chase in car number 29 as Alan Harris as they race off turn 4 onto the main straightaway. Randy Kinser from Alan Harris, and the battle on for third now as the number 3 car of Dennis Farr jumps out of the pack and takes over third running. Dennis Farr is third, and Melinda Moore in 77 takes over fourth running. Randy Kinser, race leader, no change, further back in this third 8-lap journey. PCR, the action track. This is PCR Sprintcar City. Racing on turn 4, here's the race leader, the American. Randy Kinser looking to put 2 wins on the board for the Americans tonight. As Melinda Moore and Alex Grove come together on the main straightaway, Grove spins to the infield. Calling on more power to attempt to haul in the long gone Randy Kinser, the race leader. signifying 7 laps completed, less than 1 remaining for the American JPS driver. Randy Kinser walked on the last lap, backs off down in turns 3 and 4. Off turn 4 onto the main straightaway, and Randy Kinser picks up the black and white in car number 2. Randy Kinser first, back then to fast finishing Alan Harris on the 29 car, and also quickly up there running the number 3 car is Dennis Farr.
Sorry, that's US 4. Kelly Kinser starting position 7. Alongside him will be John Walsh starting position 8. George Tatnell will start position 9 in car number 6. Alongside him, car number 3 from America, Mark Kinser. And on the back row, on the inside, position number 11 will be Steve Kinser.
On the journey, 15 laps of the best at PCR for the 1985 World Sprint Car Derby. Wide up off turn 4, we have a green. We're racing at PCR, Sprintcar City. John Walsh jumps out of the pack at the rear, but rejoins as they run out of turn 2 for the first occasion with 14.5 left to travel. Terry Becker racing for Goodyear's the race leader as the Americans midfield now. Race up to join the leaders. Terry Becker, race leader. As Kelly Kinser jumps out of the pack in second running. Sid Moore is third. Back then to Dennis Farr. Bob Tunks in advance now of the USA 2 car, Randy Kinser. Right behind Randy, moving on to the main straightaway is Mark Kinser. And at the extreme back, it's Mr. Excitement in the USA number 1 car, Steve Kinser, carving his way through the pack at PCR. This is the city, this is the action track. Becker still the leader, holding back a determined challenge from Kelly Kinser. Off turn 2, down the back section, and Kelly Kinser still honks for the lead as the Goodyear car of Terry Becker holds down the race leadership. Onto the main straightaway now. Terry Becker still the race leader in advance of Kelly Kinser. Back then to Dennis Farr. Jumping out of the pack of the 2 car is Randy Kinser. 5 down, 2 remaining. Dennis Farr with all stops out in the number 3 car. As Kelly Kinser puts the USA 4 car into the lead. Becker in second, and look at Dennis Farr, both front wheels off the deck on turn 4. Back now to the number 2 car, Randy Kinser, back in 4th running, and Steve and Mark further back in the pack. Australia's fastest and best sprint car circuit. It's right here at the Sprintcar City. Okay, one American comes to a halt, drops it on turn 4. Okay, 12 laps completed and 3 remaining in the 15-lap World Derby at PCR. 12 completed, 3 remaining as Mark Kinser comes to a halt on turn 4. He will be requested to recommence racing from the rear of the field. Okay, we'd just like to correct our information coming through. In fact, there's more than 3 laps remaining, there's 7. 8 laps completed and 7 remaining. That sounds with only 7 remaining, and it would seem now that Tatnell is aware of it, and he'll be hoping to keep enough air in that right rear tyre for another 7 laps. Can he do it? Coming off turn 4. No start that time round as Kelly Kinser jumps out marginally quicker than the field, bringing them across the wire, well in advance of the pack, and the starter says, we can't do that, we're not sending them on the journey.
6 out of 8 United States Sprint Car Championships.
And as we see the protest flag going out on that occasion as they cross the wire, being issued to Kelly Kinser in the USA number 4 car, who jumped the pack out of turn 4 pretty quickly. So Kelly Kinser racing the remaining 7 laps under protest.
He'd like it, he's an outlaw.
Racing off turn 4, green flag flies again. Kinser kicks away on the outside. Oh, Terry Becker in the 3 car. The second and third car are on the outfield. The 2 Australians of Terry Becker in car number 55 and Dennis Farr in car number 3 vying for the placings as they cross the wire at the show of the green. Both cars, well, they more than touched, crashed, with the 2 Americans running 1 and 3, split by Dennis Farr. Race leader, racing under protest as Kelly Kinser. Off turn 4, green flag flies, racing with 7 still on the board. Up through turns 1 and 2, Kelly Kinser jumps away in advance of Dennis Farr. Getting right up on 2 wheels was Randy Kinser, dropping rapidly back and takes the car out of the pack and back to the infield. Charging through on the inside is Steve Kinser in the number 1 car to take over second running. Dennis Farr in third, Sid Moore hiking a wheel on turn 2, back into position 4 in advance of Mark Kinser. In the USA number 4 car onto the main straightaway. Jumping out of the pack right up on 2 wheels was Dennis Farr on the number 3 car, and it looks like Farr's got tyre problems also. The JPS team running 1 and 2. Kelly Kinser leading Steve Kinser, and the first Australian through out of the pack is Sid Moore in car number 95. Still in second running now, and Mark Kinser looking for the inside run on Sid Moore down in turn 3. Gary Rush takes a big wind up on the outside. The Australian champion winds them both up, and Rush is in the third rally with the white flag. Americans 1 and 2 as the black and white comes out, and the number 4 car of Kelly Kinser picks up the win. Steve Kinser in second and Gary Rush third. 4 that's picked them up off turn 4. Green flag flies. The Sprintcars race up into turn 1 now, and Peter Kraft, first one through in the 86 car, but look at Barry Lewis hunting right up on the inside of the ASAP double 1 car, and the action aplenty as they race down into turns 3 and 4. The USA number 4 car of Kelly Kinser, the early winner of tonight's World Derby, gets the number 4 car hooked up on the outside, but there's plenty of traffic ahead. Onto the main straightaway is the race leader, Barry Lewis, backing the double 1 car. Out of turn 2, down the back section. Bruce White in second running, Peter Kraft third. And the 4 car of Kelly Kinser running in position 4. In the 96 car, and the USA 4 car of Kelly Kinser running up in third placing. As they run down the back section, and Kraft now force wide and tongue smooth through to take over 4th with a white flag out now for Barry Lewis. Bruce White running off turn 4. The two black and white flags come out, and Barry Lewis picks up his second win tonight. Barry Lewis picks up the win from Bruce White's. Get set for the action. 8 laps of sprint car action at Parramatta. Next to happen. Heat 5, event number 7 on the program. Okay, one car off the deck coming off turn 4. It was Alex Groves. No go the time around. Alex Groves jumping out of the pack in the 19 car and resumes his original starting position on the front row on the outside from position 2.
I think some of the guys are American shocked. They still think there's Americans in every race here tonight. They can take it a little bit easier. The pressure's off.
Alex Groves on the outside, grabs the lead as they go up through turns 1 and 2. Haddad halfway around but pulls it down nicely as Tadnell and Dennis Farr charge through from their midfield positions. On the outside is Farr, on the inside was Tadnell as they race off turn 4, but going around on turn 4, one car going around on turn 4. It was Rossi Bolt, the Newcastle flyer in the 39 car, and was just picked up by one of the back markers coming through. In fact, it was Grant Scalmer in a 32 car taking out the front crash bar of Ross's car, but unfortunately the outside rear tyre for Grant Scalmer's number 32 car. So Grant limping back to the pits and out of the event. Green flag fires, racing again in Heat 5 of the sprinters, and a wall of wings up through turns 1 and 2. And again, Alex Groves, quick to run, takes the 19 car up and to the lead as they run through turns 3 and 4 onto the lane straight away now with pressure on. Racing down the back section, Alex Groves still calling the shots, and George Tapnell giving Dennis Farr the hurry up as they run through 3 and 4 onto the lane straight away. Still in there is Peter Haddad and Bob Blackall further back in the 78 car. Tadnell in third running as Dennis Farr moves by Groves to take over the lead. Groves tucks in behind, Tadnell challenging. Running 1, 2 and 3, Dennis Farr, Alex Groves, George Tadnell. Tadnell gets by on the inside down the back stretch, puts the Winfield 6 car into second running. Blacklaw on the march now, moves the race up in 4th position. 5 laps remaining in Heat 5. Sprintcar City action, brought to you by Bird Small Goods. Dennis Farr, front wheels off the deck, races onto the main straightaway. Tapnell moves into challenge. Alex Groves back in third running. Tapnell right around the outside now, but forced to tuck in behind as they move onto the main straightaway. Tapnell pulling everything, all stops out, both wheels on the infield as they race down the back section. Right up off the deck again is Tapnell, tucks in behind the second running with the white flag out now. Dennis Farr under siege on the final go around from Tapnell. Tapnell has a look on the inside, Farr shuts the gate as they race off turn 4. Both drivers with the front wheel off the deck as the black and white comes out to Dennis Farr. Heading across the wire from George Tadnell, a great drive from Alex Groves. Blacklaw, fastest 4th. Followed in by a skipper, Attard and Ross Bolt. Kev Worthington, the final car to finish. Tremendous sprint car action as only Parramatta can dish it your way. Sprint Car City, put your hands together for Dennis Farr. 2 as they run off turn 4, looking for the green. This time as the sprint cars race, Bob Hill has a big run on the inside, right across the bow of the whole field. But they sort themselves out. Rush and Kinser through the pack. Rush in advance of Kinser as they race down into turn 3. Sidmore halfway around but pulls it out at tight spot on turn 4 to race onto the main straightaway. Ken Powell the leader. Rush on the outside as Sidmore again hangs the tail right out. And in that time in front of Kinser, and Gary Rush goes to the lead. Gary Rush hikes the number 2 car right up on the cushion. This is the Australian champion we know as Rush races down the back section. Steve Kinser looking for the way around Sidmore, but no go. Sidmore goes high and through goes Kinser. But no, Sidmore fights back. Sidmore fights back in front of Kinser. And again down the back section. Kinser's having no other and attempts to dust off Moore, who tucks in behind, and Sidmore again on the inside. Through goes Kinser now to secure second place, but the race leader over 1/4 of the lap. In the lead is Gary Rush. Off turn 4, and Gary Rush still the race leader, giving the Winfield car its head as he races off turn 2. Steve Kinser in full chase, but Gary Rush stretching that lead to 1/3 of the 450 metre lap lead. White flag out, signifying one racing lap, less than one now for Gary Rush for the final run. Down into turns 3 and 4, Arthur Cowan as the two bracket whites at the ready, and Gary Rush picks up heat 6. Steve Kinser crosses the wire for John Player in the number 1 car, and in third, what a dynamic drive from Sidmore. Sid's Tour to Melinda next across the wire in car number 77, and the remainder of the tail enders, including Trevor Shields in car number 17, next across the wire. There's the 2-minute mark gone for the night. 1 minute 58.26 to the Australian number 2 car, Gary Rush. David Batten in car number 81, locked in tight from position 3. And John Walsh, starter in tonight's semi-main in the 75 car.
Green flag flies. Kev Worthington jumps to the race lead on the outside in the 49 car. Ross Bolt in the 39 car heads up John Walsh, the driver of 75, who quickly flies to the inside to take second running. Bolt running too hard on the track. Johnny Walsh in 75, showing that he's not too happy to be running in the semi-main, clears out from the other cars to run head-to-head with Kev Worthington. Worthington in the 49 car. There goes Walsh looking for a way through the inside. The gate closes and can't get through. Again he tries. Okay, the yellow flies for car number 43. Car number 43.
Kev Worthington to lead away with 4 laps remaining. Your race caller is Stuart Telford.
Thanks, Al. No start this time around. Worthington brings the pace. Okay, the revs pick up as they come around down the back straight into turn 3. The cars start to fire up. Out of turn 4, the green flag flies. Worthington in 49 heads up Walsh in 70. Oh, Ross Bolt's around. Look out. Oh, I thought he was going to go on with the donut and cause a lot of problems there. Ross Bolt spins the 39 car. Will get sent to the rear of the field. Green flag flies and Kev Worthington leads the pack. John Walsh trying all sorts of manoeuvres to get past. Hasn't found the way around yet. Here's a big chance on the outside goes John Walsh. Down the main straight, and Walsh and Worthington neck and neck into turns 1. Walsh comes out the race leader. Brave move. Johnny Walsh. Backs the 75, Valvoline car hard into the turn. One lap to the checkered flag for John Walsh. Kev Worthington now just along for the ride. Further back, Ross Bolt's come through to run in third. No doubt about the race winner of the night. Car 75, Johnny Walsh. Worthington in the 49 car picks up second, and Ross Bolt donuts once again the 39 car and car number 24. Wayne Skipper will pick up third position. Wayne Skipper.
13 rather in car 54. Bob Tunks, 54 from 13. John Walsh, the 75 car from position 14. Dennis Farr, position 15 in car 3. Dennis Farr, 3 from 15. George Tatnall from position 16 in the 6 car. Gary Rush, position 17 in Australia 2. And in position 18, the USA number 1 car of Steve Kinser. As they come onto the main straightaway, fans, put your hands together. 20 laps the journey at PCR. Send them on the journey with your best wishes. This is PCR. This is Sprintcar City. Of action. Steve Kinser and Gary Rush from the rear of the field. The green flag flies, sending them on a 20-lap journey at Parramatta. There's Peter Kraft, puts the 86 car in the lead as they race down turn 2 for the first occasion, down the back section. The 11 car quick to run up there is Barry Lewis in second running. On the infield is Trevor Shills in the 17 car. Lewis is second, Peter Ruddard third, back then 2. Bruce White followed by Alex Groves and Melinda Moore in car number 77. Alan Harris in the 29 car was the next one through, but trouble up on turn 2, and it's Dennis Farr in the number 3 car. Dennis Farr looping the 3 car on turn 2. Adrenaline pumping as they stand on the gas on 3 and 4. Green flag will fly as they come off 4 onto the main straightaway. 19 laps remaining in the Goodyear's Premiership Series. Racing out at turn 2. Peter Ruddard jumps out of the pack. Steve Kinser already up to position 6. Kev Worthington jumping through. George Tatnall right on the tail of Kinser as they race through turns 3 and 4. Tatnall halfway around and gathers it in again as Gary Rush races through on the inside to join Tatnall in the chase of Kinser. Kinser already up to position 4. Adard the leader. Peter Kraft, I'm sorry, in the 86 car, and it's Barry Lewis in second place. Peter Kraft, in fact, the leader. Barry Lewis in second place, and Steve Kinser already up to third now in advance of Alan Harris. Kev Worthington the next one through, and Gary Rush and George Tatnall. Tatnall slides through on the inside of Worthington and Rush right around the outside in the 2 car. Tatnall comes again on the inside, the 2 Winfield cars, wheel to wheel as they race off turn 4. Meanwhile, Peter Kraft, the race leader, about to be challenged by Steve Kinser. Kinser in second place and challenging for the lead. Peter Ruddard loops the 53 car but gets underway again. Rush up into 4th running. And Steve Kinser, the race leader of the America 1 car, the USA 1 car. Steve Kinser races from turn 2 down the back section as the race leader. Peter Kraft relegated back into second placing. Barry Lewis is third, Gary Rush is 4th. Then comes Kev Worthington, Bob Blacklaw and George Tatnall. Second place, Kinser the leader, sitting right on the cushion, getting the big right rear tyre right on the cushion and racing away as Kinser, followed by Rush. Back then to Peter Kraft, Barry Lewis, Kev Worthington, Bob Blacklaw and George Tatnall. Now as Kinser the race leader. The lap's dwindling away. Third place is still Peter Craft in the 86 entry. No change further back. Barry Lewis, Kurt Worthington, Blacklaw, and now Bob Trunks passing Tattle to move up one. Through on the inside. Further back to Rush, still holding down a solid second placing. Peter Craft fighting on gamely in third placing. Barry Lewis throwing out the challenge further back. Which has now been taken over by Barry Lewis. Barry Lewis now moves through to take over third running. Rush in second, and Kinser the race leader as the white flag comes out. 19 PCR racing laps completed, and only one remaining. Final run down into turns 3 and 4. Rush halfway round, it straightens up. And the black and white flags come out for Steve Kinser. Second place to Gary Rush. And third place to Bob Blacklaw in the 78 car.